Right, let's get straight to it because next week is about to hit harder than anyone expected. April finally tells Marlon and Rhona the truth. All of it. And the whole thing spirals into something the village is nowhere near ready for. And yes, Celia isn't done. Not even close. Here's what matters. Let me explain how this week builds from one tense moment to the next. Next week's episodes have this uneasy, tight-chested feeling running through them. You can sense April's running out of places to hide, Dylan looks trapped in something he never meant to join, and Laurel, well, viewers may find themselves shouting at the screen again. Let's go through the 10 big moments, one by one.
April slips off with a plan that could easily blow up in her face. April starts the week acting like nothing's wrong, but you can tell she's carrying far too much for someone her age. She comes up with a plan that makes sense in her frightened head, but anyone watching will feel that pinch in the stomach. She heads somewhere she absolutely shouldn't be, a house she's only ever seen online, and tries to fix something that's way beyond her control. You can see how desperate she's become, trying to make things right on her own terms. The sad part is she thinks she's being helpful, and the sadder part is she has no idea she's being watched. Fans might remember earlier weeks where she kept trying to shield people from the truth, and honestly, it's heartbreaking seeing the same pattern repeat. You can see where this is heading, and it's not good. This move sets off a chain reaction that follows her for the rest of the week. Ray corners April with another threat she can't shake off. April barely gets time to breathe before Ray appears again, and the way he speaks to her, it's chilling. He knows what she did, and he makes sure she knows that he knows. It's that cold, calculated kind of warning that hits her right where she's already scared. You can see April shrinking into herself, trying to nod along and pretend she's fine, but viewers can tell she's starting to panic more than ever. Ray wants her quiet, Celia wants her controlled, and April ends up caught in the middle, trying to keep her family safe while being scared out of her mind. What really shakes things up is how quickly Ray passes information back to Celia. It's like they're always one step ahead, which makes next week feel even heavier. It's the kind of moment where you just want someone to grab April and say, "You're not alone, stop doing this by yourself." Dylan risks everything by dropping a quiet warning. Dylan has been in over his head for a long time, and this is the first time he actually tries to push back, even if he does it quietly. He sees what's about to happen to April and tries to nudge Marlon in the right direction. It's not dramatic or loud, just a subtle "you need to talk to her" moment, but it says a lot about how scared he is too. This could really shake things up because Celia notices him hesitating again, and she isn't the type to let that slide. When she ends up at Tennant's cottage and spots something she doesn't like, you can almost feel that drop in the stomach, the one where you know she's just added another name to her list of problems. Viewers might remember when Dylan first got tangled up in this mess, and honestly, watching him try to crawl his way back out is painful. April finally breaks and tells Marlon and Rhona everything. Here's the big emotional punch of the week. Marlon catches her right before she's about to disappear again. He tries to gently get the truth out of her, and you can see him fighting this horrible mixture of fear and confusion. April holds it together for a few seconds, and then she just can't anymore. She cracks. She tells them the truth, the whole horrible pile she's been carrying, and it's one of those scenes that hits you right in the chest. Marlon's face says everything. Rhona looks like her heart's been ripped out. The saddest part is, April genuinely believes she has no way out. She honestly thinks she's trapped forever. And just when you think the family might be able to take a breath and find a plan, she reveals the one detail that stops everything cold. After that, you'll understand why Marlon and Rhona look completely lost. The village feels different after April opens up. Everything becomes tense, quiet, and dangerous. And the danger moves closer to home. Celia shows up in the worst possible moment. Marlon and Rhona barely get time to think before there's a knock, or sometimes we see Celia, she just appears. She wants a chat, but there's nothing friendly about the way she carries herself. And right there in that living room, she decides to unsettle everyone by bringing Ray into the conversation, literally. She takes a video call and makes sure the whole family can see exactly who's watching. This is one of those scenes where you catch yourself holding your breath. It feels wrong, it feels intrusive, and it shows exactly how far Celia will go to keep control. I can't believe they're going there again with these home intrusion vibes. It's uncomfortable in exactly the way the story needs it to be.
6. Dylan's birthday turns into something twisted. Poor Dylan. It's supposed to be his birthday, but Celia uses it as another test. She brings out someone she claims betrayed them, and the whole setup feels cold. She wants Dylan to prove himself, to show he's useful, to show he's loyal. But he freezes. He can't do it. And honestly, who would want him to? The tension here is awful because you know Celia won't accept hesitation. When someone else steps in, it hits Dylan hard. A reminder that he's stuck in a place where saying no doesn't matter. This could really shake things up for his future story. You can see the moment he realizes he's trapped. 7. Celia reveals what she really wants from Dylan. Dylan thinks the worst is over, but Celia has other plans. She's been watching him, testing him, and now she decides to spell out exactly what she expects from him going forward. And no, it's not good. She wants him in a position that gives her power over even more people, and he knows he can't escape. It's the kind of revelation that makes you sit up a bit straighter, because you realize she's thinking long term. She isn't just causing chaos, she's building something darker. Fans might remember earlier stories where vulnerable teens got pulled into dangerous groups, and this storyline feels like a modern version of that. Sad, real, messy, and incredibly difficult to watch. Before we move on, if you're still here and enjoying the spoilers, tap the subscribe button. It helps the channel more than you know, and it lets me keep bringing you weekly updates. The week isn't only heavy drama, there are quieter stories too, but even those have this bittersweet edge running through them. 8. Sam breaks bad news to Lydia and feels awful about it. Over on the lighter, but still touching side of the village, Lydia is excited about her big plans for the concert. She's trying outfits, she's trying to feel good, and honestly, it's nice seeing her happy after everything she's been through. But Sam ends up having to admit something that completely derails her mood. You can see the guilt written all over him. Sam hates disappointing the people he loves. It's a smaller story, but it hits because viewers know how much they've both been through. Sometimes the simple heartbreaks land just as hard as the dramatic ones. 9. Laurel gives Ray another chance, not knowing who he really is. Now this is going to frustrate a lot of longtime viewers. Laurel finally agrees to spend more time with Ray. They have a quiet moment, a nice setup, and she looks genuinely relaxed around him. But we all know what he's involved in. And we all know he's hiding things she absolutely shouldn't be anywhere near. It's the kind of scene where you almost want to mute the telly because you can't bear watching her trust someone so dangerous. And the worst part is, he plays it well. He's charming, calm, harmless on the surface. Laurel has no idea she's having snacks with someone whose actions are causing chaos for multiple families. 10. Paddy feels the weight of missing Bear more than ever. The week closes on a sad, quiet note. It's Bear's birthday and Paddy can't shake the feeling that something's wrong, even though he doesn't know the half of it. You see him drifting a little, looking lost, thinking about all those memories they shared. It's gentle but emotional, and it reminds everyone how much Bear means to him. Viewers might remember the softer moments between them, the laughs, the awkward father-son bonding. Seeing Paddy without him, it hits harder than expected. And the saddest part? Nobody in the village realizes how close Bear actually is.
So that's what's coming from 1 to 5 December, and it's going to be an intense week. April finally breaking, Celia tightening her grip, Laurel walking straight into trouble, and Paddy unknowingly hurting over someone who's right under everyone's nose. If you enjoyed this full breakdown and want more updates every week, hit like, drop a comment telling me which storyline has you most nervous, and make sure you subscribe. I'm here every week with fresh spoilers, fan thoughts, and early predictions. See you in the next one.